Yes. So we discussed about the we are discussing about the HANA administration part, right? As part of the HANA administration, the starting time we discussed about the what is HANA, right? What is HANA administration? HANA, so high performance analytical appliance. In the name itself, we have the abbreviation is called the high performance analytical high performance so analytical appliance. This is one of the appliance, like it's kind of it's kind of appliance software, high performance. So in the high performance they took the H and ANA, so analytical appliance, that is called the HANA. So HANA, right? So HANA is the high performance analytical appliance. It's only column oriented columnar database. Only the business tables, it has only roster tables also, but system configuration tables stores into the, so system configuration table stores into the, so in the roster tables, and system configuration tables into the, so roster table, system configuration tables, and in the column store tables, all the business data stores into the here, right? So here HANA, it's not only, not only each database will process the either OLAP or OLTP, either OLAP or OLTP. OLAP means online transactional processing, online analytical processing. So each database, suppose you want both cannot be stored at the same time in one database here. So if you want to store both the same, you need either, so separate two databases you required here. But when it comes to the HANA, at the same time, we can store the, so OLAP and OLTP transactions also, we can store it here. In the HANA, we can also initiate the multi-threading, multiple parallel process we can enabling. So multi-threading activities. So that our work will be completed very soon here. And also here, HANA, why it is very fast means here, it will use the linear search method, so that linear search method, it will use it here, so that multiple threads will attack the database, so immediately, so that immediately you will get the results, then it will show the results to the user interface, right? It will use the linear search method. So to implement the HANA database, so we have already discussed, right? So we have discussed about the HANA versions, HANA 1.0 and 2.0, right? HANA 1.0 and HANA 2.0 versions here. So HANA 1.0 is a single container. You will get only one database here. 2.0 is the multi-container here. So whenever you install any database, you will get the 7 core process, you will get it out. 7 core process, you will get it out here. Especially in the HANA 2.0, you will get the, so system DB and one tenant DB, you will get it out here. In the system DB, you have the 5 process, and tenant DB, you have the 2 core process are available here, right? So here,
Yes, sir.
in the entire database, you have the, so total 7 process are there. In the 7 process, we have, so we have related to the our family members. All these 7 process we related to the our family members here. So here index server is the main important process. Then name server, so preprocessor and compile server, right? So web dispatcher, then access engine, then so what is next? Daemon, so mummy, right? It kind of 7 processes are available in the, so database here. Here the main process is the index server here. So index server has some internal engines, OLAP engine, OLTP engines, some other query engines, calculation engines. So multiple engines are there here. Why? Because all the data, outside data which is coming to the HANA database is storing into the index server level. So the index server contains some engines. So how the engine is very important to the bike to move from to move forward. Same as like here, index server, it contains the multiple engines. Within the index server also, there is a multiple engines are there here. So this multiple engines will help to store the data, to process your logic, to process your queries, to initiate the query engine, OLAP engines, OLTP engines. So SQL queries. So many engines are there in here. These engines will help to index server. It is available in the index server only, which will store the data here, right? So all the loads, calculations, everything will happen in the index server only. So directly it will store the index server only. But remaining process will help to the index server to store the data here. So that's why index server is the master of the database here, master. So, and tenancy database, master in the tenancy database. So name server is the master in where? Name server is master in which database? Name server. Name server master in the system database, right? Name server is
Yes,
available in the system database. Index server is in the tenancy database here. So here name server will hold the topology related information. Topology means so it kind of name, host name, some kind of important host names. It will holds it. Processing the unstructured data, that is called the preprocessor, right? Suppose if any data which is not in the structure format. Structure format means normally if any program will write the code, maybe open bracket. What is that? Where is that? Yeah. And do while, then close bracket, some while, nested if, something like that, they will write the code. That is the structured format. Even though the code or data which is coming to the database which is not in the structured format, the preprocessor will take care of the process the unstructured data will help to the index server to store the data, right? In the compile server, compilation of the programs. So in the database level, we have the code, right? Database code, programs, so structures, some DB database related, development related. So the compile server will compile the programs. Suppose like in the bikes or cars, how the engine oil is very important, right? Even though you have the petrol or diesel, the engine oil is very important. So why? It will compile the engine, your engines, right? So it will compile the engine. So for smooth run, give the high mileage, many advantages are there, right? So same as like your compile server, it will compile the programs and stored procedures for speed of purpose, right? So just we can assume like that. So web dispatcher is like, so taking the processing the, so take care of the web-based request. Then we'll hand over to the access engine. Access engine will process the your browser-based request. So daemon, if any out of this six process is in the six status, means error status or stopped status, then immediately daemon will go and start the or clear the that faulty process, right? So that is the daemon will do here. So these all are available in the respective houses, respective rooms in the database here, respective rooms in the database. So in the home database is the one of the house, right? In that house, the master bedroom, in the master bedroom, we have the index server and access engine are available, and the remaining bedroom, small bedroom, we have the remaining processor available here, right? So remaining processor available here. So but main data where the father is available, that is the main data. So like that, we have number of floors we can create it, right? So number of floors we can create it here. System DB, 1080 DB, system DB, 1080 DB. Like that, we can build the, so we can build the our home, right? Same as like here database also, we have the concept is called the, so when by default you have the system DB, one tenant DB, you will get it out here. When you install the HANA 2.0, the mandatory thing is you have one system DB and you have the one tenant DB, you will get it out here. System DB, then only 5 process, tenant DB, you have the 2 processor available here, right? So then on top of, if there is any requirement on top of, you can install the multiple tenants, you can install it, multiple tenants, you can install on top of the your database, on top of your database, multiple tenants you can install it. That is called the system DB and tenant DBs here. So system DB is only one, but tenant DB multiple tenants we can create it. Then what is the, sir, all the data you said, like all the data residing into the, you said like the tenant DB, right? If we create the one tenant, that is the index server will be created. So that then all the data residing here, then what is the use of the system DB here? System DB is the base here. Base means system DB is the base here. System DB will monitor the your all the tenants. It will monitor it. It will monitor the all the tenants here. So how the, so suppose the owner in the ground floor, in the owner will, how owner will monitor, will do the all the so calculations, who is coming in, who is coming out, everything. So of the tenants, so all those things will be carried out by system DB. If you want to operate anything, if you want to stop, you need to stop from system database. You need to rest, you need to take the backup, you need to take the backup of from system database only. So you need to restart, stop the recovery, restore, whatever parameter change, everything. All the admin work we have to carry out from the system database. System database will be carried out from the system database here, right? So system database here, that is the main thing here. So that is the system database concept here. Okay. So apart from that, so we discussed about the each and every process we discussed, and we have discussed about the HANA hardware requirements and software requirements, right? HANA hardware requirements and so HANA software requirements we discussed. So HANA hardware requirements means what hardwares we require to install the HANA database. What are the hardware requirements here? Hardware means so OS, right? File systems, then memory. So these are the main thing here. It kind of sizing we discussed, right? The RAM. So which methods, fixed sizer tool method or t-shirt sizing methods, and hardware. What are the hardwares you require to operating systems, right? And also we discussed about the so CPUs, file systems, very important. Here the major important is the file systems here. So file systems we discussed. There are 5 types of file systems and there should be separate mount points. What happens if you don't have the separate mount points? Nothing will happen. You may face some performance issues and IO issues during the longer run. So when the database is running a longer time, so you may face some performance issues. That's why SAP recommended to have the separate mount points for the, you have the 5 types of file systems, right? Those are the file systems which we discussed. The software requirements we discussed. So the mandatory thing are HANA DB, HANA client, right? HANA client. So then additional add-ons or plugins. Add-ons or plugins. Like we have the AFL. So like that. So many things are there. AFL, LC apps. So etc. The number of apps are there here. AFL additions. So these apps, these additional apps, so we can install it. It depends upon your usage, business usage. We can install it here. If don't require, then don't need to install it. If you have the option, the developer wants to this additional applications, so then you can install it. If don't want, then don't need to install it. So nothing is there here. So client also it's very important. So on database, if you are installing the application, that time client will come into the picture here. Normal, you are working on the standalone HANA database, that time client is not required here. So why? Because you are not going to connect any applications to the HANA database. That's why client is not required here. So that is the reason. So we need mandatory softwares on the HANA database here, right? Remaining, it will come depends upon the your business use case, right? So and also when you are deploying the HANA database, when you are deploying the HANA database here, so when you are deploying the HANA database here, when you are deploying the HANA database here in the systems, so when you are deploying, so we have the multiple options in SAP released it here. Either, so there are two ways, there are two technical terms here. The two ways we can install we can deploy the HANA systems here, right? When you are building the house, what you can do? You can build the independent house or apartment, you can build it. So otherwise, and also you can also in the independent house, you can build the different model also, right? So within the home, the steps, what is the this called? There is our name. So I forgot that name. In home, so we have within the home we have the first floor. Then we will penthouse, something called the, I forgot that one technical word. So anyone remember that one? So nowadays that concept apart, not apart from concept, not apartment concept. It's not the apartment. It's not the independent house. Kind of there's one more model houses in the serials, the movies we are seeing, right?
Row house.
Sorry, which one?
Row house.
Rose, maybe.
Penthouse.
Maybe like duplex houses.
Yeah, duplex, right? Duplex, yes. Okay, so I will come to that part, duplex houses. It's kind of same independent house only, but so same independent house only, the Hana, but so something like that, it's a different. So, but what is that difference here? Normally, we know independent house. So, independent house means Hana 1.0, right? Hana 1.0, independent means only one family can stay here. So, right, one SAD, one family can stay here. But what about the apartment concept? The one apartment concept means definitely, first of all, you build the G plus one. With G and plus one, you build it means one ground floor, one first floor, you will build it, right? Same as like here, Anna 2.0 also, when you install it, one system DB, one tenant DB, you will get G plus one house, G plus one. Then on top of, you can build the N number of here, N number of ways. Here also, when you are building the houses, when you are building the floors, the tenant databases, in our case, there is a restrictions, right? Up to 19, we can build it. Up to 20, we can build. There is a restriction. So here also, when the outside of the outside of the SAP, when you are building the floors, you have the limitations, you have the permissions, right? So only that permission level you have to build the house here also. So this is the scale. So here we have the two options actually. One is the scale up and scale out. Scale up, then the scale out environment. So scale out. So scale out means, scale up means, suppose, so you have the only one system here. You have the only one system here. So you have the one system here that is having the, so scale up environment means standalone installation. Now we are talking about the HANA installation on the single host. Single host, you are doing the HANA installation. So that is called the scale up environment. Scale up environment, right? Scale up environment. So scale up environment, single host, you are doing the all the work here. Scale out means, scale out environment means when you are doing the installation, there is an option it will ask, right? So do you want to add additional host to the your system, which means that is called the scale out environment, which means multiple host. Multiple host means two hosts, then one database, so that both will be load balanced. Both the host will be load balanced, so which means not all the process will not run here. So one process here, remaining process here. So like that, the load balance will happen. Otherwise, the data will fluctuate from the this host, this RAM and this RAM. So that the load balancing will happen here. That is called the scale out environment. Scale up means you have the existing system, only one system. So tomorrow something is happens, some memory restrictions, then existing system you need to uplift, right? You need to uplift the RAM size to the higher limit. You have to do that one. That is the existing system you are up, you are limiting up. So that, so you are increasing up, not the limiting. It is you are increasing up to some certain levels. That is called the scale up. Scale out means, so you need to create the one more host. You have to create the one more host. Then you have to link it so that both the hosts can survey the your business load and everything. So most of the business cases, like, so most terabytes of data are maybe BW system, they will go for the scale out scenarios. It's rare cases, rare customers, they will go for the scale out scenarios. Why? Because you need one more host, one more RAM license, everything will be cost effective. So instead of that, in existing system itself, they will increase it, the RAM and everything, right? Here, so that is the main thing here, scale out and scale up environment. We can build it, whatever you want to wear, we can build it here. But both the hosts should be available here, right? And also we discussed about the HANA installations here. So HANA installations can be done using the HDB LCM tools, right? HDB LCM tools. So three ways we can do the installation. One is the command prompt mode. Second one is the WebGI mode. Third one is the GUI mode here. So graphical user interface. This one you need to set the xcloud. This one you have to open the URL in the browser. This one simple and it's a recommended approach you have to use in the command prompt mode here, right? That is not so for here you need to set the some prerequisites, ports and everything here. Just you can go ahead and we just execute the HDB LCM. So then it will be installed. HANA will be installed in the database level. That is the command prompt mode we are doing here. That is the command prompt mode you are doing here. That is the command prompt mode here, right? HANA HDB LCM tools. So this HDB LCM tools was introduced in the when the HANA 1.0 SPS 10 plus onwards, they have introduced this concept, right? This which concept? HDB LCM tools concept they have introduced. So before that we have to use the HDB INST. So there is a file here, HDB INST file here. So if you see here, so if we go to the /media, if you go to the media here, in the media, you see here, when you go to the any file here, if you go to the any file here, you can see the HDB LCM, HDB INST files are there here. UNST means uninstallation. UPD means update, right? So UPD means update. Suppose you want to do the upgrade, right? You can do the upgrade here, right? So INST, LCM, GUI. So almost all memory is occupied here. So let me check. So what are the databases are installed here? You need to execute the HDB/UNST.
Sir, for delete, which one, sir?
UNINST.
UNINS.
There is a usage type UPD update. UN means uninst. You uninst. Then the name itself
Uninstall.
uninst here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can use this one. If you want to upgrade UPD, if you want uninstallation, you can do the uninstallation. Then you will get it out here. So like that, you can see which database you want to uninstall it, which database you want to uninstall it here. So that database you can do the uninstallation. So HDB, I think it's our database, and S4H is our database. Remaining, if you want, you can uninstall it. So HDD is not required. I think it's already, it's not installed. It's both are in the starting the system itself. So it's a waste. So then you can quickly uninstall it. So what happens if you uninstall it? So system will be freed up from the memory here, so that system will run, longer duration. So otherwise what happens when we don't have memory, what will happen? System will go to the hung status. That's why, so I am uninstalling here, because one or two databases is enough here for us to practice it. So one database is enough to practice it. Installation time, you can install it, not a problem. So, but only thing is, this is also not installed correctly. See here. So it's failed in this version, since failed in the starting the system content only. So then just remove this one or two databases is enough for us to practice it. Make it one database is the main for us, so that all will practice it in the database itself, right? So maybe HDB, the naming convention is good. You can use the HDB so that you can just so if you want to install, you can install it, not a problem. That only thing is just check it out the memory usage also. If the memory is going up limit, the database is very important. Then check it out other databases, you can stop it. Okay, that way you can we can manage our databases. Okay. So these are the usage options, installations options. So that is the main thing here. When you are installing the log files, where the log files will be written /var and temp folder, the log files will be written. That is the very important here. What are the OS level file systems? Apart from the HANA level, sometimes they will ask the what are the mandatory OS level file systems here. So /temp, then /swap, then /log, then /home. These are the mandatory OS level file systems here. mandatory OS level file system. Apart from that, slash HANA, data, log, shared. So these are the OS level file system should be exist here. OS level file system should be exist in the systems. Apart from that, right? So this is the OS level things here. Then after that, we have started discussing about the HANA Studio administration part. HANA Studio administration part here. HANA Studio administration part. In the HANA Studio administration part, so we are discussing about the HANA overview. So how to monitor the HANA databases here. Then how to check whether the process are very high or not. How to check the memory utilizations, CPU utilizations, and we discussed about the other things also, right? We discussed about the alerts, if any critical alerts are there or not. So if a type priority higher alerts here, system database does not exist, system backup does not exist. So all kind of performance things we have discussed about the how the system is behaving, the performance. So sessions, threads, blocks, volumes, configurations. So all these things we discussed, right? System informations. So SQL statements, defined trace configuration, we discussed here, right? So that is the main thing which we discussed here. All right. So suppose you want to yes.
Sir, and also this, can you explain this catalog, content, provisioning, security types?
Yeah, it's not discussed, right? Yeah, it's something, it's I have not discussed anything here. So we have to, just only the studio administration part we discussed, which means we have not completed the entire HANA administration. We have to discuss about the backups, restore, refresh, HA, and catalog, content, security, provider, alerts. So, and also security features, audit logs. So smart data access, remote content providers. So all these things we have to discuss. So we have not discussed all these things. So don't worry. So we have completed and we are revising everything. So today, Saturday, right? So what normally we will do Saturday, whatever this week we discussed, starting to till date, till time. So just I will revise those topics and some important points, everything high level. So I will revise it so that you will be on the same page. Same page means you can understand what we discussed with this week. What are my learning curve here? So like that, you need to plan it. So your curve also, you need to plan it, your learning curve. So which means the learning scope and everything. Okay. So HANA upgrades, everything is pending. So we have to discuss. So why should I discuss all these things? Immediately I can directly discuss with my topic and I can close it, right? Why I need to waste my time also here? Why instead I'm discussing all those things, right? So that is the main thing here. So, okay. So all these things we discussed, the trace information, trace configurations. If you want to additional traces, we can discuss the trace configurations. Suppose all the log files are available here in the, so in the studio level here in the diagnosis files. Here you open it, check the how the index server is behaving. So what are the errors we have? So all the information it will be recorded here at what time you have the issue occurred, the times what happened in the systems. So you have all the issues and everything we have here, right? That is the main thing here we can discuss here, right? System information, it will give us some information about the system in our system. So normally we will not use it here, very frequently we will use it here. Configuration also. So every day we are not going to change the parameters, right? Only rare cases here. So suppose in a system we want to change some settings, we have to go to the here specific settings, index server or access engine or a system DB, you can change it here. So, but anything changes, you have to do it from the system DB itself only, not the tenant DB. So then performance tab, here we can check the performance here. How many sessions are initiated, how many threads are initiated, what is the thread which is calling the high iCPU memory. So all these things we can check it out here. So landscape tab, alerts tab, it's a very important. OLAP, VC. These are the very important. OLAP VC means, OLAP means, so overview, landscape, alerts, performance, so VC. These three up to here very important here, right? And also the diagnosis files also. Suppose if any error occurs, suppose system performance is not good, then you need to come to the here, you need to check it out here. So that is what we discussed. And also we discussed about the delta merge and save point interval yesterday. So that is also very internal mechanism. So the data, how the merge will happen, how the save point will happen, all these things we discussed, right? So that is the main thing of the delta merge and save point interval, right? So that is what we discussed here. So the next one, which we are going to discuss, is it clear? Anyone wants to highlight or explain anything?
Sir, can you please go to overview? Can you show us how to troubleshoot the CPU usage?
Suppose CPU usage very high, right? Suppose see here, it's very fraction of seconds. Frequently is very high. The CPUs. Then you have to go to the first of all OS level, see so what is causing the very high CPU utilization. If you use the top command, the live utilization will get it out here. Live utilization, live CPU utilization, you will get it out here. Here I don't see nothing, nothing major here. But if you see here, something is very high with this one. See here, this is having the 10% here. So what is this? A4D, A4D. So A4D here, A4D having the some issues here. See here, all the A4D, ADM, A4D, ADM. What is the user here? So this user is contributing the 40% or 50% of CPU. Means what is this SAD? A4D. So log into the A4D and check, just go to the A4D and go to the performance tab, just for example, then go to the sessions here and see what are the current long running sessions here, which sessions are opened here. Okay, one session is opened. Then what is this sessions here? Who logged in? So I think here Sanjay and administrator user is logged in here. Then what next here? Then what happened? So how many number of queries times? So we need to check it out. What exactly causing here? So if here you will get the number of things here. Number of threads will be initiated. Something is pulling. So that thing. So if required, something is happening, then right click and just you can cancel that operations here. What is running here? We can cancel that operations here so that the thread will be freed. Then here it will be usage is very normal here. So it is okay. So it's continuously in 5 minutes, the continuously it is in the very high mode means something is running in the operating system level or someone is pulling the larger data from the studio level or some other application level. Everything we can track it here. So which user, what is doing and everything, all the things here we can see it here. So that's why the performance tab is very important here, this performance tab. Here you need to find out how many records we fetched it out. So at what time the query average processing time here. So average time, so how much time. So all these things we can find out here. At what time he logged in, the session initiated, the query initiated. So what it is exactly doing here. All the information we can track it from threads and sessions here. So that something wrong, then immediately we can check it out. But here our case, see, it's a fluctuating, it's a temporary issues only. It's normal. Temporary means it's normal. So CPU is right. So loads will come and go our way. So now see, it's very less here now. All are green status.
And you have uninstalled one of the DB and it is showing all of them.
Next one.
You have uninstalled the DB right now in the OS level, but
Okay.
it is showing in the HANA Studio.
HANA Studio
Just now you have uninstalled it.
A4D I have not uninstalled, right? I did the uninstallation of the some other S4D and what I did it S4D I have done it, then which are not useful. Then one more database which I done it for this one HDD and S4D I have done it in it, not the A4D, not the A4D I have not done it. So if I want to see, you can see here. So we have the A4D is there, S4H is there, 3 database currently live in the system. So I have not done the A4D.
Ravi, just I only installed that one, just for information.
Yeah, no problem. No, he's saying that
Yeah.
I have uninstalled it, but
It's-
still it is showing here, but I have not done it. Here you can see that, no problem, sir. So yeah, here you can see the CPUs here, CPU 0, CPU 1, CPU 2, how many CPUs are there, how to check how many CPUs are there. Sometimes if you improperly configure the CPUs, then you will see the CPU, you see the three CPUs, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, total 4 CPUs you configured here. So 4 CPUs means it starts with the 0, 0 to 3. So our is the Intel model. All the information will be here. Okay. All the information.
Sir, you're using not VMware VM.
VMware VM only.
Practically,
VMware
that is
VM
the
means the base hardware is the Intel one. My base is the
no,
Intel
sir.
hardware.
For VM interface is different, na, so that's why.
Either VM interface or so some other interfaces I have given the remote access. So how the real